Ever walk past that aisle in the grocery store? You know, the one with the protein powder and pre-workout, big tubs of stuff?
Oh, yeah.
You see creatine and think, yeah, that's for those muscle heads, not me.
Right.
Well, today's deep dive might just surprise you. We're tackling creatine, but not the typical makes you buff story. You're
Oh,
interested in the science.
yeah.
Turns out there's a whole lot more to this supplement than meets the eye.
That's right. We're diving into a massive research review
Okay.
from the journal Nutrients, published in 2021.
Okay.
Kreider and Stout,
Big names.
big names in creatine research,
Yeah.
analyze over 1,300 studies.
Wow. 1,300 studies. I'd need a whole extra shelf on my bookcase just to hold them all.
That's a lot of reading.
Thankfully, that's why we're here. We've sifted through the mountain of information so you don't have to.
Exactly.
Think of it as your cheat sheet to understanding what's really important about creatine's potential.
Exactly. And to kick things off, it helps to have a basic understanding of what creatine actually is.
Okay.
In simple terms, it's a compound naturally found in our muscles, even our brains.
Really?
It's made from amino acids and plays a critical role in how our bodies produce energy.
Like a little energy drink for our cells? Is that a decent way to think about it?
That's a good analogy, particularly when our cells need a quick burst of energy. Creatine is there to provide it. And while our bodies do produce some creatine naturally, we also get it through our diet.
Right, like from eating meat. I know that's always been a go-to for bodybuilders.
You've got it.
Mm-hmm.
Red meat and fish are good sources of creatine. But here's where things get even more interesting. This energy-boosting function of creatine isn't limited to just powering through a workout.
Okay.
It impacts a wide range of bodily functions, even when we're at rest.
Okay, so even if I'm not aiming to be the next weightlifting champion, there's still a reason to pay attention to creatine.
Absolutely.
Tell me more.
This research review highlights how crucial that quick burst of energy provided by creatine is for various bodily functions.
Okay.
Even the stuff we don't think about,
Right.
like our brain cells firing or our organs functioning correctly. Creatine keeps those essential processes humming along smoothly.
Wow, that's a lot more than I ever realized. It sounds like creatine plays a role in keeping us healthy overall, not just building muscle. So what are some of the specific health benefits researchers are excited about?
Well, let's start with some pretty amazing findings regarding cholesterol and blood lipid management.
Okay.
There's also promising research on its potential to reduce liver fat and even act as an antioxidant.
Hold on, antioxidant? I thought that was vitamin C's territory.
Right.
How does creatine pull that off? Antioxidant, that's wild.
Right. It's fascinating stuff.
How does creatine even do that?
Well, remember how we were talking about creatine helping our cells produce energy? It's all connected to that quick burst.
Right, right.
Turns out that process also reduces something called reactive oxygen species,
Which is?
better known as those pesky free radicals,
Oh, right. Free radicals.
the ones that antioxidants work so hard to fight off.
Okay, so it's like creatine is doing double duty, boosting energy and fighting free radicals at the same time. That's impressive.
It is pretty remarkable.
But we're not done yet, right?
Yeah.
Didn't the research also say something about blood sugar control?
You're right, it did. And this is especially relevant for anyone who might be at risk for diabetes.
Okay.
Studies show creatine could be really beneficial
Really?
when it comes to improving glucose tolerance and insulin sensitivity.
So like helping your body use insulin better.
Exactly. It basically helps your body keep those blood sugar levels in check much more effectively.
Wow. So we're learning that creatine isn't just for athletes after all.
Definitely not.
This is starting to sound like something that could benefit pretty much anyone concerned about their health, especially as we age, right?
That's precisely what makes this research so compelling. It's not some miracle cure-all, but the evidence really suggests, it consistently suggests, that creatine could be a valuable tool for promoting overall health as we age.
Oh, I like the sound of that. Aging more gracefully, right?
Exactly.
Speaking of aging, I think I saw something in this research about muscle loss as we get older.
Oh, absolutely.
And creatine help with that too?
It can. We're talking about a condition called sarcopenia, which is essentially age-related muscle loss.
Sarcopenia. Okay.
It's incredibly common as we get older. And it's not just about appearance. It can really impact your life,
Yeah.
lead to weakness, falls, a real decline in quality of life.
That sounds a lot less appealing than a few laugh lines, I gotta say. So where does creatine fit into all of this?
Well, what's interesting is that studies have shown that combining creatine with resistance training
Okay.
can be incredibly effective in maintaining and even building muscle mass in older adults.
Hold on, back up for a sec. You're saying it can actually help reverse muscle loss, not just slow it down.
That's what the research suggests. And we're not talking about
Okay.
just any studies. These are studies by Brose, Crush, Kandel, Guolano,
Big names.
big names in the field.
Yeah.
And they're all pointing to the potential of creatine to help older adults retain their strength and muscle mass. Like we said, it's not about looking good, though there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
It's about really maintaining your independence and your mobility
Yeah.
as you age.
Now, that's what I call aging gracefully. This is kind of making me wish I'd started taking creatine years ago, but hey, maybe it's not too late to get a head start on those golden years.
Never too late. And that actually brings up a good point. Timing. There's another area where timing might be everything, and that's brain health.
Oh, okay.
The potential for creatine to boost cognitive function. It's pretty fascinating.
All right, this is the part I've been waiting for. You already mentioned creatine affecting the brain, but tell me more. What's going on there?
Well, we already know that creatine is essential for energy production throughout the body,
Right.
and that includes the brain.
Makes sense.
But what's really exciting is that research suggests creatine could actually improve cognitive function, especially in older adults.
Wait, seriously. We're talking about things like memory, focus, all that good stuff.
Exactly. There have been some very compelling studies,
Yeah.
like ones by Watanabe, Ray, McMorris,
Okay.
showing that creatine supplementation led to some real improvements.
Like what?
We're talking memory, mental processing speed, even things like reaction time, decision-making.
Okay, I need a minute to process this. It's pretty mind-blowing to think that this supplement, I always associate it with bulking up, building muscle.
Right.
But it could actually have such a profound effect on brain power. Who knew?
And we're just getting started. The potential therapeutic applications of creatine, they go even further than what we've talked about.
Wait, there's more. This just keeps getting better and better. Okay, I'm ready. Hit me with it. What else can this wonder supplement do? So we've gone from muscles to memory. And now I hear there's even more to this creatine story. This is like the gift that keeps on giving.
I know, right? It really is. Get this, there's research suggesting creatine could offer neuroprotection.
Neuroprotection, okay. What's that mean exactly?
It's like actual shielding for your brain
Shielding.
from those scary things like strokes or even concussions.
Hold on, concussions. Are we talking about, like, the kind that athletes get from those really hard hits on the field?
You got it. And yeah, it's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Most of the research so far has been in animal models,
Okay.
but the results are really incredibly promising.
Okay.
It seems that creatine could really help protect the brain from damage
Protect the brain from damage. Okay.
after a traumatic brain injury.
Okay, so are we talking about prevention here?
It's looking that way. The International Society of Sports Nutrition,
Okay.
those are the folks who really know their stuff.
Right.
They recommend that athletes, especially those who are at risk for concussions, they should really consider taking creatine as a preventative measure.
Wow. Okay. So from bulking up biceps to potentially protecting brains, creatine really is proving to be like the multitasker of the supplement world. What else you got?
Buckle up. We are not done yet.
Okay.
There's also evidence that creatine can help with muscle recovery.
Oh, okay. Like after an injury.
After an injury, yeah. Or even after you've been immobile for a while.
Right. Okay.
And here's a curveball. There's some really promising research suggesting creatine could even play a role in, get this, boosting the immune system.
Whoa. Hold the phone. Immune support. Now this is getting really, really interesting. Okay. How does creatine even work in that realm? How does that even happen?
Well, it's still early days
Okay.
for this area of research, but there are some fascinating studies out there
Yeah.
looking at creatine's potential anti-inflammatory effects.
Okay, so it's acting as an anti-inflammatory.
That's what it looks like.
Interesting.
And get this, there are even some very, very early studies hinting at possible anti-cancer properties. But I do want to emphasize that's very, very preliminary.
Okay, now that's just wild. Anti-cancer. I can't even wrap my head around that one yet. It seems like every time we dig a little deeper into this creatine research, we uncover even more mind-blowing possibilities.
It just goes to show there's so much more to learn, even about things we think we already know. I mean, this whole review really challenges that kind of old school view of creatine, right?
Right.
As just a muscle-building supplement.
It really, really does. And that brings us back to you, dear listener. We've thrown a lot of information your way today, but hopefully it sparked some curiosity, giving you some things to think about. If this one compound can impact so many different parts of our health, Who knows what other hidden gems of knowledge are out there, just waiting to be discovered.
What we hope you take away from this is that it's good to ask questions. It's good to dig deeper,
Hmm.
especially into the topics that really pique your interest. Don't be afraid to go beyond that surface level. Who knows what amazing things you might find?
Well said. We've said it before, and we'll say it again. Keep asking those questions, keep exploring, and never, ever underestimate the power of knowledge. Until next time, happy diving.